Hey guys, this is Major, and I'm here in beautiful Vietnam, um, waiting on some paperwork, trying to finalize some things so that can get everything finished up here. I'll probably be headed back over to the States uh, in another couple of 2 or 3 weeks. But I just wanted to make a quick video on my new channel, which is DTE, Directed Thought Energy. And really, I feel like my whole purpose wasn't to be, just a businessman, or if you say businessman, it just means you're a busy man, or to just make a lot of money uh, and have a great life. That's part of it. That's cool. Um, it's more than cool, but that's not the whole goal. The whole goal is like to do something great for humanity. I just making this video too so I can record my thoughts, and I'm finding that very useful. This is when I have a thought or a premonition or good idea, go ahead and just record it. Make it history, make it my story. Instead of his story, make it my story. My story. MYSTORY. So what I wanted to put down and record real quick was this idea that, as I watched a lot of different videos. I watch You Are Creators with Justin. Love you, Justin. I watch Wayne Dyer. I watch Woodard TV. He's got some interesting videos. I watch. There's a lot of cool channels out there, and kind of watch them all. Kind of get tips. I've been in this conscious movement thing, I guess you would say, I would say I've been evolving into it over the last 6 years, but over the last 2 years I've got more serious. I got out of first being like paranoid about the world's gonna end, getting prepared for that, because my background is, one of my companies is a private security company. So most of my background previous is in business development and physical security services, consulting, so on and so forth. So as far as knowing how to get ready for something, yeah, I'm a professional at that. The only problem is you can never really get ready for anything, because when it happens, that's when it happens. You can be more prepared than you were previous, but having a solution, an all-in-one solution, it's not going to happen. So I had to work myself out of being paranoid that every time I thought about something, it was pretty negative. Like, of course, I had to stop watching the news altogether. Like for the last 2 years, no TV, no news. I mean, I get on YouTube. I'm on Facebook a little bit, keeping up with stuff in Vietnam primarily, not too much in America. But the one thing that I noticed the most are, doing research and finding out different information. I know we've been lied to. I know there's been a lot of things that we thought were real that aren't. Systems have been put into place to control us. But overall, the main thing is the systems that are in place are there to really control our thoughts. So, because if they can control our thoughts, they can use our thoughts against us, and they can stay in their control position. So without going into a lot of detail about who's controlling what and this, that, and the other, I think a lot of you guys already kind of know what's going on with that, but I want to make this video in regards to analyzing a lot of the data from a lot of different channels. I did some viewing of the Hebrew Israelite movement, Black Hebrew Israelite movement. I watched some of the Kemet stuff, Egyptology kind of stuff and all these different groups. I watched a lot of different things. You know, I come from a background of being a Christian for like 20 years. So I no longer follow that. But, I mean, it has its place, just like everything else has its place. But I'm no longer in that atmosphere anymore. But from viewing all these different sources of information led me to one place. And even in the conscious community, watching videos and following up on different things and different speakers, Anthony Robbins, you know, so on and so forth, everything I see so far, and I'm not a professional at this at all, I'm not, this isn't scripted, I'm just talking, but basically the stuff that I'm viewing on these videos is, it's about yourself, because you have to better yourself first before you can even help anybody else. But once you get to the point where you're conscious of, you know, money is energy, time is an illusion, you know, the shape of the planet may not be what they told us it was. You know, why do we call the stuff that I feel blowing, moving the trees, the wind? You know, maybe that's God. And then what is God? What is the Most High? What is your description of that high place? We've been told all these things our whole life. And just like the description of, I think it was in one of Justin's videos on You Are Creators. I forget who was commentating it, but it's a description of an elephant being tied up as a little baby elephant to a little wooden pole and a little rope. Well, because that little baby elephant could not get away from that noose around its leg as it grew up, still tied to that same post and that same little rope, even though as a giant being, all it had to do was move enough and it would just yank the post out of the ground and the rope with it. That mental conditioning over all that time conformed the movements of that great being and minimized it to what the control system set up for it, predicted it to do. So a lot of us we've all been done that way. We've all been bound by that little rope and that little post, so to speak, in our thoughts. So as I watch all these videos about, you know, do you call it Jesus, Yahusha, Yahweh, all this stuff, who had the information first, who took it from who, America's history with the colonization of the lands from the indigenous people, what was their religion, what did they follow, what did they call God, what, you know, all this different stuff, all this information. Are you Cherokee, are you this, are you that, are you, it's just so much information that it would make your head explode if you try to reason it all. So I had to step back from all this information and just go, wait a second, how do I feel? How do I see things? And even though I see a lot of people use the Bible as the only source, and they will say, God has a chosen people. Yeah, that's what it says. Then there's discrepancy about, in Israel, the Jews. Well, we know they're not the chosen people that were described in the book. But then who are the people? Well, then they say the indigenous people of America. Okay, after all that's said and done, after all this stuff is been verified and this, that, and the other, do you think the people in power are just going to let that power go just because you say you are these people? You say, no, but we're waiting on Yeshua to come and rescue us. And okay, I understand. But how I feel is, being a brown American or a copper-colored American, I feel like if I can't better everybody, then why am I here? If I can't broadcast us then there's really no me, because the world is working all around us. And if you take enough people out of a certain ecosystem, then that ecosystem stops working. So if you don't have another ecosystem ready to go into that space, then you will end up with no ecosystem to operate in. So we do all need each other, whether we know that or not. We do. You got the the white supremacist people, which that's the wrong name to call them, because they're not being supreme by only secluding everything to themselves. They're making it their world and nobody else's, and anybody that gets in our way would just take them out, kind of thing. Well, that's been going on for a long, long time, and it has done nothing but damage people. It's done nothing but further injure people and further fracture humanity as a whole. So what I'm getting around to basically is, where is the movement that brings us all together, those who are conscious? All I see is we're all doing videos talking about how to better yourself. But where's that movement that says, okay, now that we've bettered ourselves to some degree, let's all get together? And what my channel is about, or our channel is about, is using thought energy and directing it towards a certain source or a certain outcome. So where's that movement that we all come together and say, you know what, every Monday we're going to all come online at a certain time, and if we don't have online available, we just do it in our room, just like when we meditate. We just all get together, but we commit to, at this time on this day, we all think positive things, a certain format of positive things that we all speak together in thought, in ourselves, broadcasting that into the universe all at one time. Not in one voice, but in one thought. And then see how that starts to change and affect the world. Because the way I figure it is, if you want to say the elite or the international banking cartel, all that stuff that's going on, yeah, we know that stuff's at play. The power brokers, that's all at play. But how I figure it is simple. They create the situations that get the masses to think negative and to constantly be at odds with the source. So you're either scared, you're either angry, or you're just totally unsure. Once you get a people, especially all over the world, you start creating situations that actually could be like a movie set, and turn it into a news story, and then say that all of these things just happen and this group is responsible. Well, once enough people start believing that this type of thing is a daily occurrence, they start to literally get into like a sunken place type of mentality. Once that happens, that directed thought energy can then be guided by the media, by those elite sources, or whatever you want to call them, can be guided in an effort to control people, to cause things to happen that they want to happen, so that they can get further away from humanity, but be in more control of it. So I think the only way to accomplish the goal of where we can, if you say you want peace, and you say you want tranquility, and you say you want to have awesome day, and you just want to breathe in some great air and relax and go out in nature and do this and do that, you just have to have the ability to be able to do that. Well, if something is going to try to deter you from that, then that means that we have to start using our thoughts as not as a defensive weapon, but an offensive weapon, meaning we still stay in our peaceful ways. We still, unless provoked, of course, we still, in Vietnam, they say gooey, gooey. That means smile, smile. So we still have our smile on our face and have good energy and speak positive and have our thoughts about us the way we need to traverse these crazy times that, they're suggesting we're in. But I think if we all came together and simply put those thoughts, maybe three positive things that we, on a certain day, we all get together. All the people that agree about this get on YouTube and we say, we're going to, the Million Man March that Farrakhan did. So why don't we just have 1,000 thought march or something? Let's create that type of energy where it starts reverberating through the planet to the point where we start to neutralize all this negativity, all this racist stuff. You can only do that because people keep feeding into it. The atmosphere is primed with negativity. That's what the media is doing. So when the atmosphere is primed with all that negativity, you can almost feel it. You can feel it in the air. You can feel when you're around negative people. They just give off a bad energy. And if your energy's good, you might get more of a negative energy because people don't like that you have good energy sometimes. So we just have to start this movement of, as we're instructing people, or I've been getting instruction from you guys on how to better my life. Now I think we all need to come together and start using that energy and directing it towards the problems. That's it. It's probably, church, if you were to go to church, just conceptually, here's how easy it would be. You go to church, you get all these prayer requests coming in. Oh, I lost my house, burned up, we don't have any clothes or food or anything, and all the kids were out living in the street, and we're going to have to go to a temporary housing thing if we can get it, yada, 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 we just lost everything. So the church does this. Oh, let's pray about it. So there's just a general prayer over the situation by probably one or two people. It could be 2,000 people sitting in the audience. They're pretty much just closing their eyes and going, yes, Lord, please help them. Now, these people are already together as a group. How easy would it be for the main person to say, all right, y'all know the routine. Miss Johnson over here, his house just burned down. Her husband passed away a couple of years ago. The children are cold, all their clothes burned up, and it was on Christmas. Everybody in here, all 2,000 of y'all, everybody get $100 out. And a check, credit card, whatever you want. Get $100 out. We're going to put that money in the till for Miss Johnson and her family and instantly raise all kinds of cash to take care of her situation. Now, each person did $100. It's not going to kill you, but it's going to be a solution to a problem or the start of a solution. Every time you just pray and then the prayers stop after that service, this just fell on deaf ears. It didn't even have enough energy to get outside and make a move. It's just pretty much, we're going to let God take care of that. When the God is in you, you're supposed to be the one doing this stuff. You're supposed to be, constantly filling your thoughts with that help for other people and yourself so that it happens, and then taking steps to do it. So that's my whole question, guys, is just simply, when are we going to get together and use some DTE, direct thought energy, against these problems? This is Major. I'm out for now.